I am so excited that you've decided to spend part of your day with us. Really excited to talk about the power of the MBA today, how Forte can help you on your journey to an MBA, how an MBA might be a great step in powering your future success. So thank you so much for being here. My name is Ashley. I'm the director of pre-MBA programs at Forte, and I work with two amazing colleagues on my team, Sarah and Melissa, who help run our programs. Sarah is here today. She'll be dropping some links in the chat. So as we go through some of the things that I'll be speaking about, she's going to be chat queen, dropping some in there for information. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the Q&A as we go along. You don't have to wait till the end to ask your questions. And if I see them come in, we'll take some as we go. Otherwise, we'll certainly save some time at the end for some questions as well. If you're new to Forte, if this is one of the first events that you're doing with us, welcome. I'm super excited to have you. If you've been to events before, welcome back. But I do want to take just a moment to talk about Forte. We are all about fueling the future of business. We're a nonprofit organization. We've been around for over 20 years, helping wherever you are in your career. So we do have programming for everything from undergraduate participants through professional participants. Today, we're really focusing on that pre-MBA experience, so helping get you to an MBA. But do know that there's lots of programming that we do here at Forte. We are an amazing organization with many corporate as well as school member organizations here really to support you on your journey to, through, and beyond an MBA as well. There could be lots of reasons why you're thinking about an MBA, and some popular ones that we hear about are, kind of along these lines. Now, some of these might resonate with you. Some of these you might be like, that's not really me. That's okay too. And this might change over time as well. So there's lots of reasons you might have started considering an MBA. I think one of the big ones is if you didn't study business as an undergraduate student, or maybe you don't have kind of that formal business education, an MBA is a great way to really build a solid foundation of key understandings that will help you as you move into more management or strategy type roles within an organization. As I said, kind of helping you position yourself for future leadership so you understand the language of business. You might have also studied business, but maybe at the time when you were an undergrad, you didn't really necessarily know how relevant that was. Once you have some work experience under your belt, you might be realizing that maybe you were like me, and maybe you wished you paid a little better attention in finance class, because I definitely didn't, and I regret that. So it is not only about whether or not you have a business undergrad, but really about being able to apply those business fundamentals every day at work. Also, I think another huge piece of the MBA is the people that you're going to meet. Oftentimes, when you hear from schools, they talk a lot about the importance of the classroom, the importance of the cohort. It's about not just expanding your network, but really building these key connections as you move through your career. The other thing is an MBA can be a great way to make a pivot or a shift in your career. So that might be changing industries. Maybe you want to get out of the industry that you're in, or there's an industry that you really want to break into. It could also be changing functions. So maybe you want to stay within your same industry, maybe even within your same company, but you want a different functional role. An MBA is also a great way to make a location shift, and that can be significant as well. So that could be moving to a new country, a new part of the world. An MBA is a great way to break into a new market for you as well. Finally, I think it's important that we address that money can be a huge motivator for seeking an MBA. It's one of the degrees that has amazing ROI. So the starting salary, and this is, I think, among the top 50 or MBA programs in the US, is about 130K. Now, top 10 MBA programs, this is data from a little while ago, I think was somewhere in the neighborhood of like 150 to 180 was average starting salary, and then average signing bonuses sometimes are like 30K. So your average starting salary could be close to 200K for the first job after an MBA. That's really nice. Maybe you make that already, but like that would be really nice to be making that. Right after your undergrad. And I think it's important, especially for women, to be thinking about the gender pay gap as well. So I definitely think if you're thinking about the return on investment, talking about salary and thinking about salary is 100% a thing you should be doing as you think about your MBA program as well. So there's lots of different reasons that might be on your journey to an MBA. And Forte has been supporting the MBA for our entire existence. It's one of the key pieces of programming that we do here at Forte, and we've developed a lot of programming and partnerships around the MBA. So I'm going to focus today talking about the launch program as really a key to helping you achieve your MBA goals. And we've had over 6,000 participants go through the launch program. So there's been many who have gone on this journey before you that are eager to give back. Also, through our member schools have awarded over $400 million in scholarship through the Forté Fellow Program. Now, those scholarships are named and funded by member schools. So schools are making those scholarship decisions. But as members of Forté, they've been able to do that for over our entire existence, which is lovely. And that's supported at this point over 15,000 participants in the fellowship program. And it's also made a significant impact in the enrollment of women in member schools. So when we started over 20 years ago, the average women's enrollment was, probably in the 25 to 30 range. Today, among our partner schools, that average is close to 40 to 42%, which is really lovely as well. So how can you achieve an MBA? It can seem pretty daunting. There's an application process. You have to take a test. Maybe you don't know anyone that's had an MBA, or maybe you don't know any in your network that's gone through this process. We are here to help. We are here to make this possible for you. So our MBA launch program is our flagship application prep program. It is here to help you achieve your MBA dreams. We offer it in three different flavors. And I'm going to go through each of these to give you an idea of which one might be right for you. You can, of course, visit our website and follow along with information. Sarah's dropped a link in the chat. You can also scan the QR code if you're watching this recording. And we're going to go through each of those flavors. But there's some commonality among these three flavors, really around building your best application to business school. So really what it is here at Forté, here in the MBA Launch program, what our goals are for you as it relates to MBA Launch. Why would you want to be doing MBA Launch? What are our hopes and dreams as you go through this program, regardless of which format you choose? So the first thing is we want you to gain some confidence in this journey. We want you to understand that there's a place for you in business school. We want you to be able to talk about yourself. And along with that is actually doing a lot of self-reflection. So really understanding why you're seeking an MBA. What is it that you've really enjoyed about your career so far? What are the things that you want to change? What would help you find more fulfillment in your professional career? So finding that confidence in your story, not just as it relates to the MBA, but really as it relates to all of your professional facets. As I said, we want you to build your best application, right? You have an amazing story, you're going to have confidence in it, and we want you to be able to submit an application that reflects the amazing person that you are. So helping you actually build your best application so that you can submit a really top application and know that you tried your best in this process. The other thing is we want to connect you with other people that are going to help you on this journey. So not just me and my amazing team, but also other candidates that are going through this process. So other people that are having, similar concerns, maybe similar fears. Also candidates that are going to be really different than you. And that's great as well. So you might go to work with a lot of the same type of people. Maybe you all have the same type of education. You probably all maybe live in the same general area. By joining Launch, you're going to be able to build a network of people that are very different than you from all over the globe. And that's going to help you understand the different perspectives and different experiences that candidates are going to bring to the MBA program and hopefully open your eyes to lots of different possibilities. The other thing is we're going to help you find your business school fit. So there's a lot of information out there about schools. There's a lot of schools that maybe have brand recognition that maybe you're just like, maybe I should go there because everybody talks about that program. But I guarantee that there's amazing programs out there that you have not yet heard of that we want to connect you to. We want you to find your best business school fit, not the fit for someone on the internet, but fit for you personally. So we really want to help you find your business school fit and then help propel you forward. So really not just about helping you get into business school and be successful in the application process, but also be successful once you're on campus and enabling you to pay it forward and also enabling you to lift as you climb so you can influence those around you and of course be a role model to others as they go through this process as well. So all those things are going to hold true no matter which format you picked, however you consume MBA Launch. Those are our goals for you as we go through. Now, how do we go about doing that? Again, there's some common features among MBA Launch. As I said, this is kind of the pieces of how we help you reach those goals. We provide with application prep, so actually understanding the components of the application. So what does it mean to write a good essay for business school, right? We also are going to provide a level of accountability. This is a big one, right? I like to think this is kind of the difference of just like joining a gym versus like getting a personal trainer, right? You can, just buy the GMAT book and hope to learn by osmosis, or you can take a class, right? There's a difference between those two. So helping you with what to do, when to do it, and holding your feet to the fire when necessary as well. I mentioned the community already. This is a community of peers. It's also those that have come before you. I mentioned that big alumni network that you're joining. And then also just as some nice incentives, there's some discounts on partner services. So things like test prep, if that has caused anxiety for you. Also, as a nice carrot, a number of our member schools do provide fee waivers to candidates once they've completed the program. That should not be the reason you're doing this program. I think that's a nice incentive to help you get to the finish line, maybe when things are a little tough, but it is a great thank you for all the hard work, and hopefully of course, those schools want to see your strong application, right? The reason they're offering fee waivers is because they know you're super prepared and you're going to be a strong applicant. So that should be an indication to you that these schools are very interested in your application. Now, the actual content that we're going to deliver to you through MBALaunch, a lot of that comes from me and my team. We've been in this business cumulatively, probably, I gotta say over 30 years, because Sarah and I both have, at this point, probably in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 years of experience each. Our colleague Melissa has worked at Forté for over 10 years. So yes, we look very youthful, but we do have lots of experience. The other piece is, of course, you're going to hear from member schools. So over 60 full-time member schools, I think over 30 professional executive member schools. And then you're also going to hear from some of our external partners. And the great thing about some of these external partners is they're going to be able to give you a perspective to be able to compare and contrast different schools, different programs, and also provide some really great insight because they work with lots of different clients. They provide content in the program. They also provide discounts for participants. So if you're thinking about working with any of these organizations, definitely know that they do provide discounts for participants. If nothing else, the test prep discounts are really nice. And then the other thing is, they do free consults, things like that. So it's a great way, again, to get lots of different perspectives on this process. You'll be hearing from them throughout the program as well. So I mentioned that there are 3 different flavors of MBALaunch. So to help you understand which is best for you, we're going to go through timeline and going to help you decide here. Okay, a couple of things to note here. Right now, all 3 of these programs are open on our website. So whichever one you decide is right for you, you can today apply or enroll in one of these programs. So if you're submitting applications now, we are recording this on September 25th, 2025. If you are submitting applications now or kind of in the near term, so I would say like in the next 1 to 3 months, on demand is a great option. So if you're going to submit an application before the end of the year, before the end of 2025, on demand is a great option. That enrollment is open today, and it does close on October 1st. So on October 1st, 2025, this option will close. So if you think this is the option for you, make sure you go ahead and do that before October 1st. So you have about a week to make that decision, something like that. If you are applying in January, so ever popular round 2 deadlines, January deadlines, hybrid is going to be the best option for you. That program is designed to help you hit submit basically in December, hit submit by the beginning of January. Hybrid is the program for you. It is a 7-week program, kind of quick, like boot camp-ish, if you think, help you put together your application to submit for January deadlines. If you are thinking later, so if you are early bird and you're like, you know what? I'm actually thinking I want to submit an application in the fall of 2026. So like this time next year, I want to have submitted my applications, right? Thinking 2026 or maybe later, right? Maybe you're still pretty early in this process. Definitely encourage you to check out the live program, which is our 8-month program. Applications for that are open now. You do have to apply for that program. Okay. And then we will all start together. The live cohort starts together in February. So on demand, open now, self-paced. You could start today. Hybrid, synchronous and asynchronous programming. Official programming starts in November. Get you ready to submit in January. Live applications are open now. We will all start together in February if you do live. Cool. Pause there in case there are any questions. Okay, there's a question about live launch applications. I will get to that. Do not worry, Emily. I will get to your question. Okay. I'm going to start with on-demand. So if you decide to do the on-demand program, and I think, Sarah, do we have a poll? Do we do a poll?
We do not have a poll.
Do not have a poll. Okay. Don't worry about it. I'm worried I forgot the poll. Okay, forgot the poll, y'all. We're gonna go with it. So I'm going to assume some of you are thinking about applying here in the near future. So with that, I'm going to go through what the on-demand program looks like. So for MBALaunch on demand, as I said, fully independent. You can complete this program in as few as 3 weeks, or you can take until the end of January to complete this program, which at the time of recording is basically 3 months from now. So 4 months from now. So you could take 3 weeks to 4 months to complete this program. So you can stretch the curriculum out. Maybe you just want to do a couple hours a week, or you can contract the program down and do it in as little as 3 weeks, which would be submitting an application basically first week in November if you wanted to. Okay. There are 3 modules of content that you'll go through in this order. Each module has kind of specific things you'll be doing it. Module 2 really is the heavy content module. The reason these modules exist is basically to just kind of chunk out the content for you. So the first thing you're going to do is around self-reflection, making sure you have a plan in place to take the test. Module 2 is all about the application components and understanding the admissions process. And then module 3 is submitting some final details and kind of the finishing touches on your application. So if you wanted to do on demand and you wanted to do it quickly, so maybe you wanted to do it in that kind of 4-week sprint, here is a general idea of what you could expect as far as curriculum. So roughly, you would be taking on a light part-time job, which is preparing for your application. So it's probably about 10 hours of content a week if you wanted to do it in a 4-week period. So that might be maybe taking 2 days, either during the week, maybe a weekend, to complete some content. You are going to be watching recorded content. There is some reading, and there's also some homework that you'll do for each of these. As I said, this is self-paced. So if you really know, like, okay, I know I only have 5 hours a week to devote to this process, then you're going to have to stretch it out a little bit more. Okay. But if you wanted to condense it down into a 4-week period, which is really my recommendation of the quickest you'd want to go through this on demand, this is what that would look like. Okay. I do want to mention across the flavors of launch, you're getting almost the exact same content, but we're going to package it in slightly different ways, present it in different ways, depending on how you're consuming that content. So this would be the curriculum if you're looking at the on-demand program. The other thing I'll mention about on-demand is when you start on-demand, you do not have to decide on that day how quick you have to go through. So you could start and maybe like in the first week, you're like, I'm chewing through this content. I'm going to do 10 hours in the first week. And then second week comes around, you're like, I don't have any time. That's totally fine. The only gate you have to reach is you have to complete the content by January 31st. So if you want to do on demand, it provides the most flexibility. However, it is an independent program, meaning that you're going through the program solo. This is great if you have a really unpredictable schedule. Maybe you are always traveling for work. This is a great option for you. It does not provide any of the community programming that we do in the other programs, again, because everyone's doing it independently. And again, kind of you're picking your own schedule here, but it does provide the most flexibility. Okay. I'm going to move on to hybrid, unless there's any questions about on-demand. I don't see any questions about on-demand, so I'll move on to hybrid. Okay, hybrid. The idea behind hybrid is basically a sprint to get your application ready to submit in January. So it's going to be a 7-week program. The sooner you enroll in the program, the sooner you get access to some pre-work. So there's going to be some pre-work that you're going to complete in October. It is definitely a situation where the more effort you put into the pre-work, the more you're going to get out of it. So things like doing a personal branding, self-reflection piece, that's going to be really helpful as you go through if you put some effort into it. If you don't put effort into it, you might not get as much out of it. So there you go. And then there's going to be 7 weeks of content. And at the end of 7 weeks, you're going to be ready to hit the big submit button on your applications. So you're going to need to kind of have time in this 7-week period to go through the content. So that's going to be the 7 weeks of hybrid. Here's generally what you can expect from content for this program. So as I said, depending on when you enroll in the program, you might have a couple days to do this. You could have a month to do the pre-work, but it's going to be around kind of personal branding, how you talk about yourself, and then also helping you with developing a school list if you don't already have that. Okay. And then each week, as we mentioned, there's going to be a specific theme around that week. There's either going to be a live workshop, so you'll actually be able to join a live workshop with other participants, alumni, things like that, speakers, or there's asynchronous content that you'll be able to do, so still some interaction, but not necessarily you have to be on at a specific time. For the hybrid workshops, where available, they are recorded. So for example, we are doing an essay critique workshop that we'll do breakout rooms. So the general kind of opening remarks will be recorded, but when we do that breakout individual feedback, if you're not there, you don't get to do it. So I would say making a best effort to attend the sessions live would be my recommendation if you want to do the hybrid program. This program is new, so this is kind of a combination of some of the best things about on-demand and some of the best things about live, condensed down in a short period of time, specifically, as I said, designed for candidates who are going to apply in January, which is a super popular time to apply. This is also great if you've already kind of started it on the application process and you realize you need some help. This is a great way to go about doing that, a great way to get some visibility, and again, kind of help yourself creating a really A+ application to business school. A+ from a US grading perspective. I realize that's a rather US centric way to look at it. So hopefully that reference is not too lost. So that's the hybrid program. That would be if you're applying in January. Lastly, I'm going to talk about our live program, which is our most popular option. So this program is 8 months long. So you're with us for a long time. We get to see you, we get to know you super well. You have the most in-depth content. You have the most community programming. This is really the biggest commitment on your part, but it also provides the most guidance as you go through the program. So there's a curriculum guide. If it's not linked on the website, it will be shortly, but generally speaking, there's some curriculum that you'll do throughout the program. So kind of throughout the program, you'll be interacting with schools and alumni, doing AMAs, things like that. And then kind of as we go through, the content is chunked out into somewhat different sections. Again, kind of starting with self-reflection, helping you build a school list, and then going into a little bit more of admissions insights. Then we talk about the specific components of the application. We talk about financing, things like that. So that is the live program. The other benefit of the live program is we do a significant synchronous programming. So there's a weekly webinar that you will attend for the live program for 8 months with us, which is great. Then we also do some live programming in person, which is exciting as well. So we do some programming in a variety of different cities, which will be a chance for you to connect with other launchers in that city, as well as admissions reps from our partner schools, some of our consulting friends, things like that, in our team as well. So hopefully, if you are in the live program, you will be excited to meet others. You'll also be matched with a peer group in your city. So for most launchers, unless you maybe live somewhere more obscure, I live somewhere obscure, so that's okay. You'll be matched at least kind of like time zone or region. But if, for example, you live in somewhere like, let's see, these pictures are from Chicago, New York, San Francisco, you'll be matched with people that live in the city. You'll get a chance to actually meet others in person as well. I mentioned this is our largest and most popular program. Typically, there's somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 to 600 participants. You can complete this program. You can complete any of the programs that we offer from anywhere in the world. So you can be a citizen of anywhere in the world and participate in these programs. The other thing about the live program is it's a great option if you are thinking about a non-full-time program. So if you're thinking maybe an executive or part-time program, you can absolutely still do the live program. This is kind of the perfect option for that. So this is just some information about the profile. If you don't feel like, oh my gosh, I don't match any, I promise you, if you see the average age, everyone's going to think either I'm too old or too young. You're not. No one's average for the most part. Okay. If you're 28, great. But there's a huge range of ages that participate in this program. If you've not yet taken the GMAT or GRE, that's okay as well. If you work for a really small, employer, that's okay too. This is just some general information about the program. So do know that there's a place for you in launch if you're thinking about an MBA. To the question earlier in the Q&A, thank you, Emily, for your patience about the program, there is an application for the live program. So to be considered for the live program, we have an application. And the reason why we have an application is we want to make sure that it's going to be the fit for you. So applying for the live program gives us a chance to be like, hey, actually, you should do hybrid, or hey, you should do on demand. So that's why we have an application for the live program. It is not a selective application process, so we're not here to weed you out. That is not the purpose of this application. The purpose of this application is to make sure that we are going to meet your expectations. So In the application to the live program, you're going to submit information about your MBA goals, which is what type of program you think you're interested in and when you think you're going to apply. That's it. Super, super easy. You'll submit your contact information, a little bit of background information on yourself and education. So where you went to school, what you studied. You'll also provide us information about your employment. We're not going to call your employer. We're not going to tell them anything, but you're going to submit your LinkedIn URL as well as a link to your resume. So you'll store that in a cloud service of your choice, and then you'll link us a copy of your resume so we can take a look at kind of your career progression thus far. There's an option to submit additional information. So there's always an option if you have something you want to let us know about. Otherwise, you're going to complete a quick video or written essay telling us about your interest in the launch program, and your MBA goals, kind of why you want an MBA, I should say, and then your commitment and interest in the mission of Forté. So super easy application, should not take you more than depends how much you want to put into the essay, I don't know, an hour. If you already have a resume, super easy, right? And again, for the most part, your applications are going to get read by a member of the launch team or one of our amazing readers. And again, we are here not to judge. We are here to understand where you are in the process. A lot of this application is in existence because we want to make sure that the curriculum matches the cohort. So if, for example, we have lots of people that are interested in a specific career path post-MBA, then maybe we're going to try to find some curriculum to match that, right? So think of the application more as an informational application, not a selective application. So that is the application to the live program. If you choose to do hybrid or on demand, some of this information we will also ask for. So similarly, we'll ask you about your education. For hybrid, we also would like, your LinkedIn URL, things like that. And we're just trying to get to know you so we can make sure that the program's going to be the right fit for you. Okay. This is a kind of a recap of what I mentioned. So I'd like to think I was more detailed than this slide, but this is kind of a general overview of the information that we just went over. I do also want to mention that if you're applying to the live program, there is a discount code for the application. So Sarah dropped the discount code in the chat. It is FortéFam26. So make sure you use that discount code since you were here today watching our wonderful session. As I mentioned, your top line choice should probably be filtered by when you're thinking about applying to business school. If you're not sure when you're applying to business school, live might be your best option. Because if you're not sure when you're applying to business school, I'm going to say it's maybe a little unlikely that you're going to apply in a month, and probably still a little unlikely that you're going to apply in January, at which point I think live might be your best option. If, however, you have any questions about anything that we just said, or you're like, I feel like I'm a special butterfly and I have a question about my personal circumstance and which program is right for me, please send us an email. We will be happy to help. One of these amazing people in this photo will respond to you and get you an answer. So please send us an email. We are always happy to help. So I'll pause and see if there's any questions. Feel free to drop those in the Q&A. I know Sarah has also been dropping some links in the Q&A as well. So yes, great. There was a question about the Forté fellowships. So as I mentioned earlier, the Forté Fellowship Program is a scholarship program. Our member schools can select and fund scholars. So member schools get to select and fund scholars. How schools select those scholars is up to them. So schools get to decide how they do that. So if you're applying to a school and they're Forté member school, you're welcome to ask them about that process. We, of course, provide lots of guidance for the launch program about being competitive, not only for Forté fellowships, but all of the scholarships that are out there, because we want you to not just go to business school, but maybe get a nice scholarship to go to business school. That'd be sweet, right? So we will certainly provide that guidance as we go through the program, but it is not a requirement that you've done a Forté program to receive a Forté fellowship. However, many of our launchers do receive Forté fellowships. So I'd say probably between 50 to 60% of school launchers at partner schools have received Forté fellowships, which is certainly above average, but it is not a requirement. Julia's question is, are there multiple application deadlines for the live program? Yes. So October 1st is a big day here at Forté. October 1st is the date in which the on-demand program will close. So if you're interested in on-demand, clock's ticking. It is also the first deadline for the hybrid program and the first deadline for the live program. So basically everybody's got something on October 1st. There will be other deadlines after that, Julia. I would recommend applying. The final deadline for 2025 is in December. So there's a deadline, I believe. There's one in October. There is a November deadline, and then there's a December deadline. Thank you, Sarah, for dropping them in the chat. For dropping the link in the chat. So yes, if you're not ready to apply to live by October 1st, don't worry, there's going to be another deadline coming up. But again, don't stress too much about the application as much as you can. Thank you for the question, Julia. Wonderful. I'm going to remind you all, if you do apply to live, to use that discount code. Thank you, Sarah. Application deadlines, I was close. October 1st, October 31st, happy Halloween, and December 10th are the deadlines for the live program. Great. Well, with that, I will make a couple of closing remarks as I wait to see if there's any other questions that come through. Otherwise, we will wrap it up. Please send us an email if you have questions. This recording, I believe, will be on YouTube, or you're watching it on YouTube right now. Crazy. Feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to help. If you have any questions about which program is right for you, send us an email. We're always happy to chat. I also will make a plug that on October 9th, we are having a Ask Me Anything with past participants in the launch program. So if you're thinking you want to do the live program, but you're not sure and you want to hear from people that have lived and breathed it, come hang out with us on October 9th. It's going to be a cool place to be. We would love to see you there. So with that, big thank you to Sarah for being queen of the chat. And we will close it out today. Thanks for being here.